From Stavanger in Norway tonight, from our studios there, I'm joined by Anurup Bhattacharya and Sagarika Bhattacharya. Unfortunately, their battle is not over. Anurup and Sagarika with us tonight. Also, Leela Ponappa, a very experienced diplomat, former National Security Advisor. Thank you very much. Anurup and Sagarika, to you first. What is happening and what are they telling you? You met your children in between. The last time you came on Times Now, the Foreign Minister was with you, gave her assurance. So can you tell us what really is going wrong right now?
Right now, basically, we are kept out of the loop, and we have been told that my brother will be given the custody, and they're evaluating him continuously. He's going with rigorous sessions with the child welfare authorities, with the kindergarten authorities, with specialists, with psychologists, and hopefully today he has a last meeting with them, and they will give him some feedbacks about that. And after that, they will decide whether he is capable enough to look after the children back in India, because Avigyan, our older son, as far as the reports, they think that he is a special child and he needs a lot more than the normal children. So all those things, they have to be assured before they hand over.
And in the meantime, Sagarika,
to my brother.
You know, we had one of the news channels here put out a report that according to the Norwegian authorities, you were a bad mother. They put the blame on you. They put out all kinds of allegations against you. That also came out. So they too have been trying to put the blame both on Anurup and on you, Sagarika, for being bad parents. They continue to do that.
Hello, can you repeat?
My question is, Sagarika, they are also trying to put the blame on both you and Anurup.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Sagarika?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, maybe, you know, I just want to, I don't know, but...
You can tell it to me.
You know, there is, both your parents and your in-laws, both were out there today protesting outside the Norwegian embassy. Are people in Norway feeling any pressure at all?
Right.
Are they feeling any pressure at all because of the protests, because of so much political support from India?
Definitely, there is a lot of pressure going on, and with this pressure only things are standing on as it is today. Otherwise, they would have detained our children for 18 years, and we would have seen absolutely no hope after this decision came out in November. And when nothing was saying across, we just appealed to our government that these are Indian children, Indian citizens, and they have the right to go back to the Indian soil. And at least something is there, and which is going in really good direction. And pressure definitely has put this issue in a right direction.
How were your children when you met them, Sagarika? When you met your children, how did they react?
Hello?
When you met your children, Sagarika, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, they were just traumatized. We can see from their eyes that the children were missing the parents. They were in good condition. They were kept in good thing. But there is something is needed for any children. That's the emotional bonding with the mother and the father, and they were missing those, and this was clearly seen. And for little Aishwarya, I can say she was just a 4 months baby when they have taken away her from the mother's
can you
breast.
Put that? Can you put that
bonding?
Can you put that question also to Sagarika?
They cannot.
I want, because I think she's having
recognize properly.
Anurup, I think
the mother and the father.
I think Sagarika is having some problem with the earpiece. I think entire country would want to know from Sagarika how her children, how Abhigyan and Aishwarya, your children, responded to her as a mother and what did she go through when she met her, your children after so long. I think she's having some trouble with the earpiece. If you can just tell her, I think all of the country would want to know how your children responded to you. When you actually went and met her in this terrible period. Would you say that to her? Maybe she can, if she's not heard me yet, maybe you can tell her that, because maybe you can put my question to her so that I can hear from her.
Can you hear?
I cannot hear properly.
No problem.
Just
No, just
He's asking that how the children reacted and how.
yes, yes. Avigyan is very much traumatized, and Aishwarya cannot recognize me and my husband, and Avigyan didn't want to go to the foster family, so we are very much stressful situation on that moment.
Leela Podappa.
So Avigyan
Yeah.
lost her language and his language and his culture. Everything has to be going in stake.
Right. Leela Podappa, why is our government looking so helpless? It's astonishing. It's completely astonishing that we are looking so helpless. Why don't we just cut off trade ties? Well, what's Norway? We tell Norway, sorry, you no more business with you. We cut off trade ties because of the way you are treating this couple. Why can't we do that?
Well, Arnab, as you mentioned earlier on in the show, there is today a senior diplomat, Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs in Oslo. He has met the foreign minister, and I'm going by the news reports. And I would think that the whole purpose of sending such a senior special envoy, not for some major international strategic conference or in order to make a démarche on major strategic issues, but on a case involving these two children itself goes to show the seriousness with which it is.
Yeah, but they're taking us very lightly. They're taking us very lightly. They're deliberately delaying the return. They are putting all kinds of bureaucratic red tape and telling us, sorry, you may be the parents, but this is our great Norwegian bureaucracy. That's what they are doing, Leela Podappa. They wouldn't do this with the Americans. If this was an American couple, they wouldn't.
I entirely agree with you, Arnab. I entirely agree with you, Arnab, that this has taken agonizingly long and the end is not yet in sight. But all I can say is that the kind of trauma that the family is obviously going through collectively, the children, I'm sure, even if they are not in a position to express it, the parents, for whom, this is an unthinkable type of situation, and reportedly the grandparents who have been demonstrating outside the Norwegian embassy today. I think they too recognize that this whole thing has been caught up in perhaps the kind of overdrive of the so-called Norwegian welfare system, and I think this was best brought out in an article called "The Iron Hand That Rocks the Cradle" that appeared in the Hindu, I believe it was on January 30th of this year, which spoke of how the so-called child protection services really go ahead to break up families. And it's a serious problem. I think we need to handle it with great delicacy, because right now I believe our collective objective really should be to see that the children get back to India. There are legal procedures involved. There is a huge amount of emotion involved. I do believe that in terms of whatever steps are necessary, they are being initiated and taken. And not
it's been a long time.
That is discussed comes out in the public
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. These children were. I think these children were taken away. When were your children taken away? Anurup and Sagarika, your children were taken away in May last year. In May last year, your children were taken away, Anurup and Sagarika. Sagarika, when were your children taken away? When were your children taken away from you? Can you hear me? Either of you?
okay.
Anurup, when were your children taken away?
If you say a little bit slowly, then we can hear. There's too much signals coming out.
I cannot hear properly actually.
When were your children taken away? When were your children taken away from you?
They were taken away 11th of May 2011, and since then there have been 3 court cases. The first one we have won, and in spite of that the CPS didn't return our children, citing appealing to the higher court, and the other 2 cases we lost in spite of giving evidences that our parents were here and Sagarika's parents were here and they could be a better resource to look after the children. Nothing was considered.
Well,
And my brother was here as well during the last court case. That situation was prevailing, and he wasn't considered at that time. But fortunately, now the CPS authorities are taking into
well,
him as a consideration.
it's so
that's a pretty good thing.
It's so totally ironical, and I can we're going to resume this fight from tomorrow on this channel. It's so totally ironical that to help two Italian criminals who have killed Indians back, we have the Italian deputy foreign minister flying down to India trying to negotiate. That's for two criminals, and for two Indian children who've been separated from their parents. We are fighting, we are complaining, we haven't got their children back. We take it up as a campaign and force the Norwegians to see some sense. Anurup and Sagarika, be strong. Leela Ponnappa, thanks for joining me on the News Hour tonight. It's my pleasure and privilege to bring the news to you with the stories that really matter and no fluff, going straight to the point. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.